Welcome to Beating Cancer Daily. Beating stage 4 cancer for 30 years still takes my breath away every time I say it. I'm Saranne, founder of the Comedy Cures Foundation, and I hope you'll join me for just a few minutes daily for the next 365 days so we may laugh, learn, maybe cry a little as we live our best days beating cancer daily together. I just have to read this to you because I love it, and it's an unknown quote as far as I have seen. So here you go. When the past calls, let it go to voicemail. Believe me, it has nothing new to say. I just love things that are so visual and witty. I'm going to read that again because we all have the past calling us. It happens. It might not happen to you as much as the next person, but it happens. It rears its head every once in a while. When the past calls, let it go to voicemail. Believe me, it has nothing new to say. If any of you find out who wrote that, let me know because I absolutely love it. And then it got me thinking, how did I handle some of the quote unquote past issues that reared when I was going through cancer treatment and even to today? And I have to tell you that I made a very conscious list of the past that was weighing me down. What was it that was actually interfering with my quality of life? And you know what? I had to, because I had so much cancer burden. I couldn't carry the heavy sack of the past around with me while I was fighting for my life. So I'm not sure what you could possibly be dealing with, but there's so many ways to therapeutically handle the past. I have to tell you, I had to handle the present. There was only so much past digging that I could do because I really had to put all my energy towards healing. So I did work with a therapist. I did in a very boundaried way, excavate something from my past that I thought was toxic and deal with it, but not so much that I put too much psychological burden on my system. So it was this really interesting balance of creating the best quality of life that I could have on a daily basis and filling my life with joy and humor and positivity and just keeping to increase my comic perspective while visiting something from the past that was possibly eating away at me. And we've talked about that phrase before because that's what cancer does, right? It eats away at you. So I wouldn't do that without professional help personally. I had to just find somebody that was really talented that could help me. And if you're looking for therapy services, there are therapists who will do pro bono work. Your hospital may have a service. Friends or family members may be able to refer someone good in your neighborhood. There are certain states where I believe you can still do virtual telehealth therapy, but there are also a lot of cancer support organizations that have therapeutic services to help you deal with some of the things from the past that may be preventing you from healing. So that's where the interesting balance lies. So one way that I personally like to deal with painful things from the past is that I write it down and then I look for the humor in it. So I know that sounds hard, but for me, that's the path that really helps. If I write something down that's really troubling or hurting me, and then I look at it from a 360 perspective to see if I can find the humor in it. I also have a pity party. You know that. That's one of the earliest episodes of this podcast. And I would definitely revisit it if you want to learn how to have a pity party. And it's short, but crying can be a great release. Now, there are lots of books and methods on letting go. There's this song lyric that I just love. I believe the band is called Gota. It's Goyte. And the line is, now you're just someone that I used to know. Think about that line. It's so powerful. Now you're just someone that I used to know. And I think of that in terms of anything that I need to let go of, whether it's a job or a relationship or an item. It's just someone that I used to have a relationship. It's something I used to have a relationship with. That line really helps me in a lot of situations. So I'm curious, do you potentially have trouble letting go because you're afraid of what other people will think? Well, that really neutralized for me in my cancer journey. I really stopped caring what other people thought. As long as my heart was in alignment with my ethics and my mind, body, and spirit, then that was good enough for me. I didn't need a reviewing committee or a judge for how I was living my life. I felt so connected to what I believe is my creator, what I believed was the higher power guiding me in my experience. And that replaced so many unnecessary relationships that were just energy vampires. And we've talked a lot about energy vampires in other episodes. So I just really looked at every aspect of my life. It was like spring cleaning for my whole entire being when I got cancer. I just looked at every single crumb in me and around me, and I just kept sweeping it out, sweeping it out, sweeping it out until I started to achieve a lightness of being and a joy that was so palpable in my own self, but really noticeable in others. They said that I had a light radiating from me. And I always said, well, I had a lot of radiation, but I do understand that. So you might want to really think about what you gain by letting go of this past hurt or this past ill that was done to you. What do you gain by not carrying it with you? What would it feel like to be you if you didn't hold on to that anymore? So I hope that you safely, with a therapist or with a friend or with your strong self, really look at what you want to disengage from and unburden yourself as much as you can to have full strength, not only for healing, but for living your best life. Many blessings. And if you want to tell me about what you're unburdening or what strategies you used, I'd love to hear them. So go to comedycures.org and hit the record button or the write us button and let me know. Have a blessed, free day. See you tomorrow. I hope you guys know this, but Beating Cancer Daily is a listener and donor-supported podcast and community. So if you have some extra change, I'd love you to go to comedycures.org and make a donation today of whatever level is comfortable for you. And it will be tax deductible to the extent allowed by law, because Comedy Cures is a nonprofit 501c3 organization founded from my chemo chair, April 1999, and we've been going strong ever since. So please consider making a donation today and help our community and this podcast thrive. Thanks so much. See you tomorrow. Guess what time it is? It's time for me to read the disclaimer. Beating Cancer Daily and the membership circle are not in lieu of medical advice or treatment. They are for entertainment purposes only. Please consult your healthcare team to review your best strategy. Thanks for listening.